Well, a lot of people have a lot of opinions on basically what the Chicago Bears should have done and why they are doing what they are doing as far as drafting Caleb Williams at number one. And Kay Adams, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant media personality, came out and explained something. And she wanted to talk about basically how this move had more to do about the money situation, how that logically was the best way to go. So I want you to listen to this real quick.
Justin and going with a quarterback at number one overall, it's just the right move from a business standpoint. Justin was a product of bad timing. They were just beginning a rebuild, and you got to put this team in the best position to contend, not just right now, but over the next few years. Even if Caleb Williams, here's what it really comes down to, just logically. And a lot of you out there on Twitter, you couldn't pass your LSATs to save your lives because it's just reasoning and analytical and logistical reasoning, and y'all don't have it. Let me explain it to you. Caleb Williams, even if he or whoever the Bears end up picking, it's not a sure thing, it'll be Caleb Williams, even if whoever they take in the draft ends up being just a lateral move from Justin, just right in the same ballpark, same neighborhood, it's still the right move because it extends that rookie contract window for 4 more years.
Now, I understand where she's coming from, and she is not wrong by any means. And we want to talk about how logically what this means and what it doesn't, and if this was a logical move or not. To me, I don't know if it's all logic. And I will say this is more opinionated and a personal decision that was made by the Chicago Bears. Let me tell you why. Logically, we can't look at this and say, hey, you just reset the rookie clock. You have to pay the quarterback less money. Justin has an extension coming up that's about $25.6 million, so roughly under 26 if you pick up his 5th-year option, and then you have to re-sign him. So from a money standpoint, it's going to be cheaper to have Caleb over the next however many years than it will to have Justin. Well, there's a lot of things that go into that because if Caleb is what you say he is, you're going to end up extending him by year 3, most likely. So his money's going to kick in. Also, his extension is going to be higher than what Justin's is. If you were to hold on to Justin, let's say you pick up the 5th-year option, then you extend him, based on his numbers, you can justify that he's probably looking at a Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins type deal, which you're talking about, for Kirk Cousins, $100 million guaranteed, a little bit over $40 million a year over 4 years, which would be chump change 4 years from now when the extension, when basically the salary cap goes up and these quarterbacks are making $55 to $60 million a year. You got a quarterback for 40 plus $40 million. That's a steal. But I really want to talk about this is logically, you could say to yourself, if we trade the pick, we can set up our team for a very, very long time. With that number 1 pick, now I'm going to talk about 2 moves here. Sorry. I'm going to talk about 2 moves. One is the Keenan Allen move, and then one is trading the pick. Now, with me, the Keenan Allen move is this. I love Keenan Allen as a player. I do. I do not love the move of giving away a 4th-round pick for him. The reason why is because he's going to be 32 years old. And this is a win-now move trade. Like, you're not trading him to basically say this is a 1-year rental. This is a win-now move. Now, you most likely have to extend him. And then what are you extending him for? Guy's making well over $25 million this year, I believe. What is he going to re-sign for? You got to re-sign DJ Moore in another year. So are you re-signing Keenan Allen for another 2 years and 3 years going to be here until he's 35? And then will the money be worth the production at that point in time? These are things we don't know. We have no idea. And see, for me, if you trade the pick, let's say you trade the first pick to Washington. Now you're at 2. You can get the receiver that you want. So now you have a young receiver on a rookie deal. So you would have DJ Moore for not only his deal, but his next following deal was probably a 3-year deal at that point in time, while your rookie receiver is still on his rookie contract for the next 5 years. So he would be cheap labor and younger, and someone you can build with if after the second contract, you don't have a DJ Moore. Okay? Now, once you trade that for the second pick, you have still other options. Okay? Because it's reported that Minnesota wants to come up and New York wants to come up. So what if New York comes up and says, listen, you can go back to 6, we'll come to 3 and get the quarterback that we want. Okay. Now you'll get another 1st-round pick and another 2nd-round pick. So what you're saying is this, is like you can go back to 6, you can still get the young receiver that you will like. And then now you swap picks and then you're going to get a 2nd back from both teams. So now you don't have a 2nd. Now you have 2 seconds. So now you got 2 firsts, 2 seconds. You're going to get another 1st-round pick at 25 from both again. So now you have 3 1st-round picks, okay? So now you have 2 firsts in this one, 2 second in this one, and 3 firsts in 2025 if you trade back twice. Let's say you don't trade back with New York. Okay, you get to your 9 pick. Again, you have options. There's other teams that want to come up. You could trade that pick. Again, you're going to get another second, probably get another first for a team that's coming up. You're gaining multiple picks in the first and second rounds over the next two drafts. To have that draft capital, now that helps out with the quarterback market. So now the money that you're paying your quarterback, we'll say Justin Fields in this case, because you have so much young, cheap labor, now you're okay. So you're okay with paying a quarterback because a lot of my roster is in my first and second round picks. And we're not paying them money. So there's two ways to look at this. So logically, I can say no. Logically, it made sense to stay with the quarterback you have been building, stay with the quarterback that everybody loves in the locker room, and stay with the quarterback that your whole team wants to follow and that they believe in. That makes sense. And on top of that, acquiring multiple firsts, multiple second, and then multiple firsts and additional picks and possibly players. That makes a lot of sense too, logically, if you want to do that. But this wasn't a logic move. What this move was a personal move. This move was a personal move in the sense that their belief was that Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields with this team next year. And why do I say that? Because again, when you go and get a Keenan Allen and you move your 4th round pick for him, that is a now move. Because again, you didn't have to. You could have moved the pick, then you had 2 fourths. There's a possibility you could have had 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a third, and 2 fourths in this draft while having multiple firsts and multiple seconds in the following draft. But you didn't. You decided to trade for Keenan Allen and go into this draft with 4 picks because you believe that Caleb Williams with this team right now is better than what Justin Fields would have been. That's what you believe. And if you believe that, then I guess you got to do what you do because you're only going into this draft with 4 picks. Now, was that fair to Caleb Williams? No, but this is not a logic choice here. This is a personal preference choice. That I believe this, that we're a better football team with this guy than I am with the guy that I have. And that's where this pick came from. That's why they decided to do what they did. Yes, you can say we can reset the quarterback clock. I don't believe Ryan Poles on a hot seat right now. I don't believe that because of what he came in here with. He came in with the most dead cap space of any team. He's done a pretty good job, honestly, of going ahead and flipping this roster by year 3. He really has. So I don't think his money's on the line. I do think Matt Eberflus could be on the line. But maybe they got some kind of deal going on. I don't know. But I know when you made that move, it's a win-now move. So you're saying to yourself, listen, I think this guy is not only a better player, but he's better for my locker room, which is you always have to think about that. You always have to. Some of these breakups are easier than most. This one's a more difficult one because of what Caleb has to come in here and what he has to do now. Because, listen, man, these guys, they still in love with their ex-girlfriend. So the management believe that even though they're still in love with their ex-girlfriend, the new girlfriend will be good enough that they'll forget about her, that they can bring him in, and that he was better for this team as a player right now. And when we talk about comparisons, it's like we cannot compare. I agree with Kay on this. We can't compare at all. Because you know why? We'll never know what Justin was with this team and this coaching staff. With this team and this offensive coaching staff. Just like we'll never know what Caleb would have been with the offensive staff that Justin had and the teams that he had. We'll never know. We'll never know how much better or worse the Bears would have been, and we'll never know how much better Justin would be with this team. We'll never know. Because this team, Justin didn't get to play with. So we can never compare it. But the one thing that is for sure is that franchise, that management group, that front office believe that the current state, the current build of what the Chicago Bears are with the current coaching staff and current players, they believed that Caleb Williams was the better player and a better person for that team than Justin Fields. And that's not logic. That is not logic. That is personal preference in your opinion. And since they make the moves, they can do that. And that's their decision. That's the decision that they made. And that's why we're where we're at today. That's because that's what they believe. And that's what Ryan Poles believes. That's what Matt Eberflus believes. That's what Kevin Warren believes. As a cohesive group. Maybe not individually, but as a cohesive group, that's what they believe. And that is not the logic. That is just a preference. And that's why Caleb will be a Chicago Bear. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Still Broke Podcast. Marcus Bourne, Encyclopedia Black. Kay Adams, you the best. Appreciate you. We'll catch you next time. Peace out.